Hello, this is the podcast for the Open Line Garden Show for this week. Timber Press Pocket Guide to Japanese Maples by J.D. Vertrees and Peter Gregory. Now, this book is of a size you can take with you to the garden center. It's not one of those tomes that you're going to have to lug around and use a buggy just for that. What it does is covers the Japanese maples you're going to see in garden centers. It covers 300 popular varieties, and it's got 330 accurate color photographs. So we're looking at a good reference book, because the first thing everybody's going to do is they're going to look at all nice colored pictures and decide which one they want. That's not the way to use this pocket guide. What you really want to do is go and look at the book and decide the best Japanese maple for the area that you're going to be using it in. Now, this book does that. And so it covers an area, whether it's you're going to pick a Japanese maple for spring color, Japanese maples for fall color, how about winter bark interest, dwarf maples. Those are the ones about 6.5 to 12 feet tall. Now, there's also the dwarfs, which are under 6 feet, okay, or let's say 6.5. And, of course, you've got the ones that are medium-sized maples, which are 10 to 16 feet tall. Large Japanese maples, 13 to 26 feet tall. The very large, 20 feet and over. In other words, pick the maple for the size of the spot that they're going to grow into. How many times have I seen people plant a blood good Japanese maple 3 feet from a foundation and think that it's going to be this cute little tree, and 10 years later it's, let's just say, out of bounds, hitting the eaves trough, up against the wall, and not looking very attractive in that condition. Of course, it's all one-sided. So even if you do move it, what will happen is it's always bare one-sided. The other thing is that you get to pick Japanese maple for partial shade, full sun, for containers, best for rockeries. How about bonsai Japanese maples? The dissectum group, which is my favorite. It's the one with the cut leaves that are like filigree. The anemone group, the palmatum group, the matsura group, the linear lobum group. The Japanese maples with a rounded habit, with a spreading habit, mounded maples, and upright maples. You get to choose. And it lists and breaks them all down. And then you go through the book and take a look at the pictures. Find out what fits the location that will be the most suitable for the environment and the needs of your garden. So, this is how you work this nice little book. And you go through then and go and look up each variety, take a look at the pictures, decide, is this the one I really want, or is that one, or that one? And then, if they're none of them, you go back and say, okay, I'm going to have to find another spot and do it that way, so that you have the Japanese maple that's going to be the most effective in the landscape and do the best. Because, let's be honest, when you go to a garden center, there are a lot of varieties of Japanese maple to choose from. They often don't have accurate sizing. Sometimes you're buying them during the dormant season. You don't get to see the leaves. Other people will be buying them in leaves, but then those are the ones that very often are the ones that have been left behind. Everybody bought the best ones already. So what you want to do is be prepared and be knowledgeable and use this guide. Now, it also covers the basics. In other words, the ones for pruning. You want to know how to prune. You want to know how to plant. Mass planting. How to do them in containers. How to grow them and mulch them. The soils, the moisture levels. Fertilizing, which is very, very critical with Japanese maples. and whether or not they'll tolerate that early morning sun and the dew on them won't go and burn them like little magnifying glasses. So you want to go through and take a look. It talks about the insects that attack Japanese maples as well as the diseases. So there you go. This little guide is worth its weight in gold. One, because it's so jam-packed with information that you will be informed. You will get the right Japanese maple for your location. It also covers some other maples. Now, these are Japanese maples, but they're not in the same sort of category that you're used to. These are other types of Japanese maple growing in Japan and other areas of the world. Now, there's the small flowered maples, the Mayaba maples, the Nikko maples. There's a whole bunch of others that are larger, different, and you want to be able to look at those and maybe, if you're really lucky, be able to grow them, find them, because they are a little harder to find. The map for hardiness is covered for the United States and as well as for Europe. So it's a book that can be used basically on 2 continents. We know in how to translate as gardeners hardiness zones from USDA hardiness zone maps to Canadian zones. Every one of us has done it and continues to do it. You'll want to be successful because Japanese maples are not inexpensive. And if you're going to make an investment in a larger one, which most people really want to do, then you want to make sure you do have the right one. And that's what the Timber Press Pocket Guide does. Now, J.D. Vertrees is no longer with us, but again, Peter Gregory is. And let's be honest, they put together one of the best books I've ever seen. Now, they do have the larger volume one, okay? You can go and get that one, but this is probably the one, dollar for dollar, is going to be the most practical one. So you're looking for the Timber Press Pocket Guide to Japanese Maples by J.D. Vertrees with Peter Gregory, all from Timber Press. I can't say enough about this book. In Canada, it's distributed by Thomas Allen. If you want a decent book on Japanese maples and all the information you're going to need about them for our areas and even other areas, then this is the book to buy. I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week.